The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi both introduced Star Wars fans to the AT-ST Walker, but there were also many other 2- or 3-legged walkers in the Galactic Empire's Imperial Army forces. This is every Imperial Scout Walker type serving in various strategic purposes for the Galactic Empire, from Legends and Canon source material. As the smallest Walker variant, the All-Terrain Reconnaissance Transport, or AT-RT, was just 3.5 meters tall and was piloted by a single trooper. Often used for stealth operations, the AT-RT's mobility and tactical flexibility to scout platoons made it invaluable to the Imperial Army. Its armaments were useful too, consisting of a front-mounted laser cannon, a flamethrower, and a mortar launcher. Its versatility also ensured the AT-RT was used during reconnaissance, frontline infantry attacks, policing support, civil defences, and post-battle clean-up efforts. The All-Terrain Defence Pod, or ATDP, was the successor Walker design to the AT-RT, but was more than twice the cost to produce. It was also more than 3 times the height at 11 meters tall, and could hold a 2-man crew instead of a single pilot, surrounded by better cockpit protection from enemy fire. Although the ATDP could move faster than the AT-RT, at the front it only possessed a single heavy laser cannon compared to the AT-RT, which held 3 types of weaponry. The All-Terrain Advanced Radar, or AT-AR, was a lighter variant version of the AT-ST and used by the Galactic Empire during the Galactic Civil War. It possessed heavier armour, but its only armament was a single front laser cannon. The All-Terrain Armoured Cannon, or AT-AC, was utilised by the Galactic Empire in the early years of its reign to be an urban suppression walker. The AT-AC's armaments consisted of 1 set of chin-mounted dual cannons with 2 large windows equipped with dual-barreled blasters. It eventually helped towards the design of the All-Terrain Scout Transport, AT-ST. Once again, the list would not be complete without the inclusion of the All-Terrain Scout Transport, or AT-ST. Standing at a height of 9 meters tall, it was a medium-sized walker deployed for patrols and reconnaissance and anti-infantry assignments. Its armaments consisted of 2 front twin blaster cannons, 1 side-mounted twin light blaster cannon, and 1 side-mounted concussion grenade launcher capable of inflicting a large amount of damage at close range to enemy vehicles and ground troops. It was piloted by a crew of 2 and was commonly used by the Imperial Army. The All-Terrain Construction Transport, or ATCT, was a variant of the AT-ST designed and used by the Empire for specifically construction purposes. However, standing at 8 meters tall, it was equipped with powerful tractor beam generators used to lifting building materials for construction tasks, and it could be used for a weapon to throw items at enemies. The All-Terrain Force Reconnaissance Walker, or AT-FRC, was an inherited walker design from the Republic Army used for reconnaissance. At 9 meters tall, it was an early 2-pilot cockpit template for the later AT-ST, including smaller laser cannons plus concussion missiles. The All-Terrain Exploration Droid, or AT-ED, was a walker type developed to assist in the exploration and surveying of newly discovered Outer Rim worlds. As it had served the Republic government, it continued to be used by the Empire as part of its expansion. Although it appeared very similar to the AT-ST, however, it stood at only 2.5 meters tall, and its only armament was a frontal blaster cannon. The All-Terrain Missile Platform, or ATMP, was a walker model used by the ground forces of the Imperial Army during the Galactic Civil War. Its role was similar to the AT-ST in terms of patrol and reconnaissance, and its armaments consisted of 1 rotary cannon and missile launchers. The All-Terrain Missile Platform Mark III, or ATMP Mark III, held specialist modifications to its base. Although it could eliminate shields with overwhelming missile strikes, its light armour left it vulnerable to heavy attacks from ground vehicles. There were also a couple of further variants of ATMP walkers, including the Enhanced ATMP, which included improved munition firing systems, and there was also a cold weather ATMP version with internal updated systems to allow optimum performance in sub-zero temperatures. The All-Terrain Anti-Aircraft, or ATAA, was a fast 4-legged mobile anti-aircraft walker. Although very effective against aircraft using its concussion missiles, it required infantry support to defend it, and was vulnerable to ground forces such as tanks and other walkers. The Arc Cannon prototype was designed by the Imperial Academy on Mandalore as an experimental walker to wield an energy weapon called the Duchess. The walker itself was a modified ATDP to include the Duchess weapon on board, which generated an energy pulse capable of targeting and superheating a specific material. In this case, it was designed to specifically target the Beskar alloy found in Mandalorian armour. The All-Terrain Defence Turret, or AT-DT, was a Walker variant with a powerful artillery weapon, which fired a massive shot which exploded on impact. The 9-metre tall Walker was used by the Imperial Army and deployed for long-range strikes before infantry troops were deployed. It was extensively used on Minban by the 224th Imperial Army Division to fight against the forces of the Minbanese Liberation Army. The All-Terrain Experimental Transport, or AT-ST, was used during the Clone Wars as an experimental armoured assault walker by the Republic Army. Its role was to support troopers and larger walkers with its artillery capability armaments, but its production, although reduced, continued throughout the Imperial era to be largely replaced by the AT-RT and AT-ST. The All-Terrain Personal Transport, or AT-PT, was one of the smallest walkers at 4 metres tall and used to combat infantry as a very early all-terrain walker design. Piloted by a single trooper, the AT-PT was effective against infantry troopers using its twin blaster cannons and concussion grenade launcher. The Walker's excellent agility made it fast, but its light armour made it vulnerable to tanks and larger artillery vehicles. Due to the original AT-PT's lack of visibility for the pilot, Imperial Mechanical Factories created a lighter variant model providing the cockpit with all-round viewports to help it against surprise attacks. The All-Terrain Riot Control Transport, or AT-RCT, was introduced towards the end of the Clone Wars but later utilised by the Empire for crowd control and riot suppression in urban areas of unrest. The Imperial Army and local planetary governments utilised this model for its reliability and useful armaments, such as its twin light blaster cannons. The Walker was operated by 2 troopers, one to pilot the Walker and the second to act as a designated gunner. The All-Terrain Kashyyyk Transport, or AT-KT, was equipped specifically for the suppression of Wookiee insurgents, with its anti-personnel net guns on each side of the cockpit. The AT-KT also held standard AT-ST's forward twin laser cannons, as well as a missile launcher and mounted laser cannons on its upper cockpit area. This powerful Scout Walker variant was effectively deployed by the Imperial Army against large Wookiee tree cities. The All-Terrain Scout Transport Assault, or AT-ST-A, was an updated variant of the AT-ST Walker, standing slightly taller at 10 metres and held more powerful weaponry, being its main differences. The Walker's single-barreled heavy blaster cannon was a powerful addition to attacking troopers and other ground vehicles. Its legs were also reinforced, plus the Walker's hydraulics and processors were upgraded to provide stability against motion. It was also fitted with enclosed viewports for added protection of the 2 crewmen. The All-Terrain Attack Pod, or AT-DP, was an artillery walker and nicknamed the Sniper Tank. It stood with 3 legs as opposed to 2. The Imperial Army utilised it for long-range artillery strikes during the Galactic Civil War, using its heavy mass driver cannon supported by the dorsal medium laser cannon. For close combat with troops, the Walker used a ventral heavy repeating blaster, and it stood at 10 metres tall and was operated by a crew of 3. So that's every Imperial Scout Walker I could find, and let me know if there was any I missed. Subscribe and hit the notification button to let you know for further Imperial Army videos. As always, thanks for watching.